This is where Canberra comes to talk on the weekend. The Canberra Weekender, 12:06.
2CC.
20 minutes to 10 o'clock now as we move to a concern we have for one of our most iconic birds, and that is the gang. A massive decline in the stocks, if you like, of this iconic creature in our region. To get the details and what we can do about it, Neil Hermes is a local ornithologist and joins us. Neil, good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
I was stunned to see these figures as I was reading the papers for today's broadcast. Something like almost a 70% decline in the population of the beloved gang in just 30 years. Now, why would that be?
Well, it's, many of our native species have had declines because of a variety of reasons. And in the case of the gang, a couple of the issues that it faces is a decline in the number of suitable nest sites. They like very old trees with particular hollows in them. And some of the feeding areas that they feed on have been in decline. However, it's a rather more complex question than that too. In the case of the gang, Canberra is more or less the sort of central location for gangs in its distribution. We are one of the places where gangs, and as many of your listeners will know, Chris, gang is our state bird, our territory bird, and used in many things as symbols for the ACT. But it does occur up as far north as about the Hunter Valley and down to near Melbourne, and it used to occur in Tasmania. And on the edges of its range, it was always very rare and seems to be becoming rarer. So the significant concerns about the rarity and the increasing lower numbers of gangs seems to be occurring on the fringes and the edges of its range, particularly up around the Blue Mountains and the Hunter, and down south towards Albury and into Victoria. And yet here in Canberra, we still seem to see a lot of them still. So it's a complicated question that we really don't know the answer to.
All righty, there's some suggestion, and this is one thing that really gets up the proverbial, the question that possibly smugglers are involved in this to a degree. Have we got any evidence of that?
Look, gangs are a very attractive bird, and they are attractive for aviculturalists, and no doubt there is some level of illegal activity, as happens with many of our native animals. This was a really serious matter 20, 30, 50 years ago across a range of species. I would be personally surprised if it was... I would be surprised if it happened, but I would be surprised if it was at a significant enough level to make us concerned about the birds in the wild.
Now, is there anything we can do as just regular people here in the Canberra region to help in any way? I suppose it's difficult because if you start disturbing habitats, it might upset the birds in any case. So what's the best step, if any, we can take?
Well, one of the things that people can do is, if they have an interest in birds, is to help out in the variety of studies that occur. I was involved in a citizen science study with the Canberra Ornithologist Group back in 2014, where we call in our 50th anniversary year, where we called for people to we made gang a special bird of the year, and we asked people to send in records of having sightings of them, and that sort of thing can help in terms of building the database that we have. Because one of the things the federal government is going to have to do with this submission concerning whether or not the gang should be listed as an endangered species is to look at all the data that's available, and it's a fairly vigorous process. And any information that people have, and it can be information that individuals have or they provide to the bird clubs like COG. All of that adds to the information that we have concerning, the status of the bird.
And finally, we hope that somehow we can do something to increase that population. But in another case, a raven was attacking a drone this week. Now, drones are a relatively new thing for Australian bird wildlife to have to sort of come to terms with, I suppose. This is something that's going to, we're going to have certain drone highways, if you like, to enable, if that's possible, to enable birds to predict where these mechanical devices may or may not be flying.
Chris, well, I do know a little bit about that situation with that raven, and in fact, yes, there are effectively drone highways. I know that the operator of the drones in Gungahlin operates to a pattern which is designed to avoid bird areas. And in the case of the raven, which was discovered nesting near a site where they were delivering with a drone, the operator of the drones then made an exclusion zone around that nesting bird until such time as the bird is stopped. So that already happens, and I'm a little involved in that and providing advice on how that happens. So yes, that's a new area of impact. But the ravens in that particular case, did what they normally do, and they kept the drone away from their nest, which was a good result for both.
Yeah, well, good to know, and good to know that contrary to what I did read, some reports that the people running this drone service are very mindful, and they're calling in people such as yourself to assist with the safe use of that technology. Neil, thank you for that, and please keep us posted on the how the gang is faring, because it'd be a shame to see that be any more endangered than it is now. But thanks for
no problem. And Chris, if any of you listeners have any questions about birds, they can always contact me through my website, neilhermes.com, and send me questions about things that they may see or photographs they may take. I'm happy always to help out with people with their bird questions.
Terrific stuff. Thank you, Neil.
Okay. Cheers, Chris.
Yeah, bye-bye. Now, Neil Hermes spells his name, Neil, it's Neil. Hermes is Hermes, so all one word, neilhermes.com, and you'll get all the information you need there.